Imagine you're walking through a quiet street at dawn. The air is still, the light is soft, and the world has not yet fully woken. You feel the cold stone under your feet, and you realize something. You have walked this street many times before, but today, you see it differently. In life, there are moments when you finally understand a truth you've been ignoring for years. One of those truths is this: people will treat you exactly the way you allow them to. And perhaps, if you are honest with yourself, you've noticed patterns, moments where people ignored your voice, dismissed your value, or crossed lines they should not have crossed. You told yourself it was nothing. You stayed quiet. You hoped they would respect you if you were just kinder, more understanding, more patient. But the truth, as Nietzsche would tell you, is that respect is never given freely, it is earned, and it is defended. Today, I want to take you on a journey. Not a journey of anger or revenge, but of clarity and strength. We will walk through the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, a man who understood the nature of power, self-worth, and human behavior, and we will discover why people disrespect you and how to ensure they never do again. So, take a deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade for a while. Imagine we are walking together, side by side, down an old cobblestone path as the morning sun rises. And as we walk, I will share with you the brutal truth, told gently, so it can land in your heart without breaking it. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But what he often implied in his philosophy is this: if you don't know your why, if you don't know your value, the world will decide it for you. And when the world decides for you, it rarely decides in your favor. Disrespect begins subtly. It's in the joke at your expense that you laugh at, even though it stings. It's in the promises broken without apology, the meetings where your voice is overlooked, the friend who only calls when they need something. And here's the truth you must face. People are always watching how you treat yourself. They take notes. They adjust their behavior based on your boundaries or your lack of them. If you constantly excuse bad behavior, you're silently telling the world, "I will accept this." And people, being human, will push that line further and further until you have nothing left. Nietzsche believed that every person is engaged in a quiet battle, a battle to define themselves before the world defines them. To stand tall in this battle, you must first face an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, people disrespect you not because they are cruel, but because you've trained them to. This is not about blame, this is about awareness. And awareness is the first step to strength. Nietzsche understood something that most people overlook. Power is not always loud. It doesn't always announce itself in raised voices or grand gestures. True power is often quiet, but it is unshakable. Think about a mountain. It does not move when the wind blows. It does not apologize for taking up space. It simply is. And because of that, everything around it must move in relation to it. In life, your boundaries are your mountains. They are not walls built out of anger, but structures of self-respect. When you have clear boundaries, when you calmly enforce them without fear of losing people, you send a silent message. This is who I am. This is where I stand. People pick up on this message without a single word spoken. They notice how you respond when someone interrupts you. They notice whether you keep promises to yourself, like going to the gym, working on your craft, or taking time to rest. They notice whether you tolerate gossip, disrespect, or manipulation. Nietzsche might say that respect is not negotiated in public, it is earned in the private discipline of your own life. The way you live, when no one is watching, is what determines how you will be treated when everyone is. And here's the truth. If you want people to respect you, you must live in a way that makes disrespect impossible, without them feeling the weight of their own shame. One of Nietzsche's most challenging ideas is this: people will test you, not because they always wish you harm, but because it is in human nature to seek the limits of what is allowed. Just as a child might touch a flame to understand its heat, adults will test boundaries not always consciously to see if they are real. And here's where many fall into the trap. They confuse kindness with weakness. You may have given people the benefit of the doubt, forgiven easily, and avoided confrontation in the name of peace. But over time, that same peace you tried to protect turns into a quiet resentment. You begin to notice the imbalance, how much you give and how little is returned. Nietzsche would tell you that to live fully, you must embrace the uncomfortable truth. If you do not correct disrespect the moment it appears, you silently endorse it. This doesn't mean shouting. It doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means standing firm in small moments, saying no without guilt, letting silence fill the space after someone's inappropriate comment, walking away when your presence is not valued. People quickly learn what is possible with you. And if you stand steady, calm, grounded, unwavering, they will adjust. Respect is not demanded. It is demonstrated. And once demonstrated consistently, it becomes the unspoken agreement that defines every relationship in your life. In practice, this means keeping your word, especially to yourself, controlling your tone, even when anger tempts you, choosing your battles wisely, but never avoiding them out of fear, letting your no be final, without explanation. Over time, this steady consistency builds a reputation.